China has a saying that sounds a little crude. The smaller the temple, the wilder the demons. The shallower the water, the more snapping turtles. Compared to many of China's more refined proverbs, this one isn't exactly elegant. But here's what's interesting. The coarser a saying sounds, the more often it turns out to be true. As the Chinese put it, the words may be rough, but the reasoning isn't. So why does a smaller temple mean wider demons? Most people assume it means that smaller places attract worse people. But that's not really what the ancients meant. It's not that the demons multiplied. It's that the temple got too small. The smaller the temple, the more every little thing gets amplified. If someone says one extra word, everyone hears it. If someone gets a small opportunity, everyone notices immediately. What grows larger is never the demon. It's the wind. When the ancients said demon wind, they weren't talking about actual demons. They were describing an atmosphere, one that everyone can feel, but no one can quite name. Suspicion begins to appear. Rumors begin to spread. Everyone is watching everyone else. Everyone is on guard. And gradually, the whole environment begins to change. The Ming dynasty's Hanlin Academy illustrates this very clearly. This was where the empire's finest scholars gathered. Men who had survived the most grueling imperial examinations to serve at the emperor's side, drafting edicts and advising on state affairs. You would expect such people to be the most principled, the most respectful of one another, and yet the Hanlin Academy was also one of the most fiercely contested places in the entire Ming dynasty. Every time a cabinet position fell vacant, the whole academy would begin to stir with undercurrents. So some memorial might have one official genuinely debating policy, while another was quietly calculating whose name might catch the emperor's eye this time, who visited whom today, who was summoned alone tomorrow. These pieces of news traveled faster than any imperial decree. The reason wasn't complicated. Many could enter the Hanlin. Very few could reach the cabinet. When everyone is staring at the same narrow path forward, people who might otherwise have worked together become threats to one another, not because these people were born to scheme, but because the structure left them no other choice. But scarcity alone doesn't fully explain the scale of the demon wind. What makes things truly complicated is that small pools have a special amplifying effect. In the open ocean, one boat's movement doesn't disturb anyone else, but in a shallow puddle, any movement splashes everyone. In the Song dynasty, county offices were staffed by a class of people called zuli, clerks and runners, with no formal rank and meager pay. Yet, they held the real operational power of local government. A new magistrate arriving to take office needed these men to make anything actually happen. In this tiny circle, whoever controlled the relationships, controlled the resources. Everyone could see everyone else. Every small move was immediately read for meaning. Who walked through whose door today? Who shared a meal with whom? Who might be one step closer to that position? As the exits grew fewer, people stopped focusing on the work itself and started focusing on each other. The truly frightening thing wasn't any single bad actor. It was an environment that made everyone more guarded, more suspicious, more sensitive. At this point, many people might assume that small temple just means a remote place or a low-ranking institution. It doesn't. What truly determines whether a place is a small temple is not how large it is, but whether it still has exits. More precisely, whether opportunity is still growing. Once a place stops growing, new positions become increasingly scarce. Every step one person takes forward means another person must step back. During the new policies period of the Northern Song, the court gradually narrowed down to two choices: either support or oppose. Questions that could once be discussed openly became matters of loyalty. People who had simply disagreed on policy increasingly found themselves treating each other as threats. Every word spoken declared a position. Every silence was interpreted. It wasn't that these people had suddenly become contentious. It was that the structure had turned every difference into a danger. A prestigious institution with an extremely narrow path upward. That's a small temple, an organization full of talented people, where everyone is competing for the same single spot. That's shallow water. What truly makes a place a small temple is not that the place is small. It's that opportunity has stopped growing. When a pool stops expanding, the relationships within it begin to deteriorate. People don't start fighting because they were born to fight. They start fighting because there's nowhere left to move forward, so they can only look sideways. So what can an ordinary person do when they find themselves in a pool like this? The ancient answer wasn't to teach you to fight better. It was to first see clearly what kind of pool you're standing in. Many people spend years struggling in a place before realizing the problem isn't them, it's the structure itself. As the saying goes, a wise bird chooses its tree carefully. The first step isn't to work harder, it's to assess where are the exits in this pool. Is opportunity still growing? If a place is still expanding, it's worth committing to. If opportunity has stopped growing, no amount of effort will change the fact that you're competing with everyone else for the same shrinking piece. Once you've seen that clearly, there's one more thing, and it may be even more important. Don't pour all your energy into competing inside the pool. The pattern we've described tells us that small pools make everyone start watching each other, but watching others doesn't create more exits. What's truly worth investing in is finding a new exit, not getting consumed by competition in an old pool. And one last thing, history is full of people who thrived inside small circles and became nothing the moment they left, because what they had mastered were only the rules of that particular pool. What's truly worth accumulating is whatever still has a value. After you've left that pool, real judgment, real expertise, the kind of ability that holds up in a larger pool. The smaller the temple, the wilder the demons, the shallower the water, the more snapping turtles. The ancients didn't leave us this saying to insult anyone. They left it as a form of clarity. Many times, what we think we're seeing is the worst of human nature. What we're actually seeing is the shape of the pool. The demon wind in a small temple was never because there were so many demons. The snapping turtles in shallow water were never because there were so many turtles. Very often, what truly needs to change isn't competing harder with others. It's asking yourself whether you've been spending your life in a pool that keeps getting shallower, fighting over something that keeps getting smaller.